Welcome to Seiler School of Real Estate. I'm Rick. Proration quiz number 1, including the solutions. Proration customs. When we do prorations, we do our computations based on a 360-day year and a 30-day month, unless you're directed otherwise in the problem. Items that are paid in advance, we say they're prepaid by the seller, are usually a credit to the seller and a debit to the buyer. An example of that would be a maintenance fee on a condominium. Let's say we're closing September 15th. The seller, we'd want to confirm, but the seller has typically made the September 1st maintenance fee payment. So if we're closing on the 15th, he's going to want approximately half a month back. So that would be then a credit to the seller and a debit to the buyer. So those items that are prepaid, paid in advance, the seller is going to want part of that money back. So it'll be a credit to the seller and a debit to the buyer. On the other hand, items that are paid in arrears, and remember, arrears does not mean delinquent. Arrears means you pay for it after you use it. Those items paid by the seller are usually a debit to the seller and a credit to the buyer. The most common example of that is mortgage interest. Mortgage interest is paid in arrears. For example, when you make your September 1st mortgage payment, oftentimes people think they're paying for the September interest charges. Not really. They're paying in arrears. So when you make your September 1st mortgage payment, you're actually paying for the interest charges in the month of August. So the seller is paying it in arrears. That would be an example of a seller paying in arrears. Prorations made easy. Really? People really struggle with prorations, and if you break it down, it's not as tough as you might think. Let's take it a step at a time. What we need to do is calculate the cost per day. We call that in Latin per diem. So if they give you a monthly cost of the maintenance fee, it's easy. We just divide by 30 and we come up with a per day cost. If the annual premium is paid for the homeowner's insurance, remember normally we divide by 360 days. That's what we use in prorations unless we're told otherwise in the problem. So break all of those down to a cost per day. I don't mess around with a cost per month, a cost per year. Get it down to the single day. Then we calculate the number of days that need to be prorated by using the first day of the unpaid period. And that sometimes confuses students, but really it's not that tough. For example, if the tenant's rent has been paid for the month of August 2018, tenant paid the rent, it's paid through August, the first day of the UPP or unpaid period would be, and I'd write it in this formula, it'd be 2018-09-01. So the first day of the unpaid period is September 1st, and that's how we'd write it. 2018-09-01, and then we'd write down the closing date, and then we subtract. We multiply the cost per day times the number of days to arrive at the amount to prorate. So we started with the costs. We figured out what it is per day. Then we used our first day of the unpaid period as it relates to the closing date, and we determined how many days that we have to prorate. Then it's a matter of simple multiplication. We multiply the cost per day times the number of days to arrive at the amount to prorate. Then we have to determine which party to debit and or credit. And remember, if you debit one party, it doesn't mean you always have to credit the other party. For example, if we're going to pay off the seller's mortgage and there's interest due, that would be a debit to the seller, but if the mortgage is being paid off, it doesn't end up being a credit to the buyer at all. It goes to the bank. Proration question number 1. Rick sells an Upper Kula cabbage farm on November 10th, 2018. The principal balance on the mortgage as of November 1st is $68,955. The interest rate is 9 5/8%. Rick will not be making the November 1st loan payment. Calculate the interest proration. Here are our possible answers. Let's take a look now at the solution. Let's see if we can solve the proration question number 1. Our closing date was November 10th of 2018. This is how we'd write it down. 2018-11, 11 being November, -10, that's our closing date. The first date of the unpaid period, the mortgage was not going to be paid for November 1st. And remember, interest is paid in arrears. So if we would have paid the November payment, it would have paid interest for October, but we didn't pay it. So the first day of the unpaid period ends up being October 1st, which is 2018 the 10th month and the first day. We do a little math. We find out that we have 0 years, but we have 1 month and 9 days. So 1 month, 30 days in a month, plus 9 days. We've got 39 days to prorate. We need to convert 5/8 as far as the interest rate is concerned into a decimal. If you don't know it by memory that 5/8 equals 0.625, the way to figure that out is take the number 5 and divide it by 8 and you'll get 0.625. So then we take the loan balance, 68,955, and remember it's 9 5/8, so the decimal equivalent is 9.625%, gives us the annual, which is $6,636.92 for the year. We use 360 days in a year. We end up with $18.44 per diem, or per day, $18.44. We take $18.44 times the 39 days that we need to prorate, and we come up with an answer that should be reasonably close to selection C, which is $719.16. Did you follow that? Let's take a look at the next one. Proration question number 2. Dawn paid $297 for fire insurance policies, which covered a tofu factory for a year and expired on July 17, 2019. When the tofu factory sells on November 7, 2018, what are the prorations? Here are our possible selections. Let's see if we can work and figure it out. Solution to our question number 2 in prorations. We determined that the first day of the unpaid period, that would be the day after the period where the insurance policy ends, so that would be 2019-July is 07 minus 18, or -18. That would be our first day of the unpaid period. Our closing date is 2018 November, month 11, and the day is 7. We do a little bit of math. We find out that we have 0 years, but we have 8 months and 11 days. 8 months and 11 days, 8 months times 30 is 240 days, plus 11. We have 251 days that we need to prorate. $297 for the year divided by 360 days in our year equals 0.825 per diem, or 82.5 cents per day. Then we just multiply the 0.825, or 82.5 cents, times 251 days, and we arrive at a number of $207.08, which is selection A. Proration question number 3. Prorate Lonnie's, the buyer's, portion of the annual tax bill of $1,638, which has been paid in full for the calendar year. Remember, calendar year begins January 1st and ends December 31st of each year, if the sale is closed on April 17th, 2018. Now remember, we're looking for Lonnie's portion, the buyer's portion. Our possible choices: our solution to the proration question number 3, the first day of the unpaid period, since it's been paid through the end of 2018, the first day of the unpaid period ends up being 2019-0101, which would be January 1st of 2019. Our closing date is 2018, April 17th, so 2018-04-17. Now, when we do our subtraction, it's a little bit of a tricky deal here. Let's take a look at it. Looking at the 01 minus 17, we can't subtract 17 from 1, so we have to go over to from the day column to the month column and borrow 1 month, which is 30 days, add the 1 day, and it's 31 days, minus 17 is 14. Now imagine that the 01 is not 01 because we borrowed a month, so it's 00. We can't subtract 4 from 00, so we go over to the year 2019 and we borrow 12 months, so the 01 becomes a 12. 12 minus 4 equals 8, and because we borrowed from 2019, that made that a 2018. We end up with 0 years, 8 months, 14 days. 8 months times 30, 240, plus 14, 254. A little bit tricky on that deal. The cost for the year was $1,638. We divide by 360 days in our year. We end up with $4.55 per diem per day. $4.55 a day times 254 days should come up with a number very close to $1,155.70. Selection Bravo. Proration question number 4. Graham's Maui Meadows house is sold on May 15th, 2018. The annual taxes for the calendar year are $760, and the annual water costs of $80 have been prepaid. Your prorations would be one of those. Solution to proration question number 4. The first day of the unpaid period, if it's paid through the end of 2018, the first day of the unpaid period would be January 1st of 2019. So we write it down in our formula as 2019-01, meaning January, -01, meaning the first day of January. Our closing date is May the 15th of 2018, so we write down 2018-05, which is the month of May, minus 15, our closing date. Here again, just like in our last proration problem, we're going to have to borrow. Because in our day column, we can't subtract 15 days from 1, so we have to go over to the month column, the second column from the right, and borrow 1 month, which is 30 days. We add 30 plus 1 is 31 days minus 15 equals 16 days. And since we borrowed from the month column, that 01 now becomes 0, and we can't subtract 5 from 0, so we have to borrow, go over to the 2019 and borrow 1 year, which is 12 months. So 12 minus 5 equals 7 months. And because we borrowed a year from the 2019, that becomes a 2018, minus a 2018 is 0 years, 7 months, 16 days. 7 months times 30 days plus 16, 226 days. We can add the two items together. You could either add them together or you could do it separately, but I added them together. I added $760 plus the $80 water bill for a total of $840, and I divided by 360 days. I arrived at $2.33 per diem per day. So $2.33 times 226 days, $5.26.58. Our choice would be B. Proration question number 5. Closing date of August 5th, 2018. The first installment of Maui's fiscal year. Remember, a fiscal year is an accounting year. The state of Hawaii and the county of Maui, and I think the other counties as well, operate on a fiscal year, which is an accounting year that runs from July 1st, for example, of 2018, through the end of June 30th of 2019. The real estate taxes are not paid. There's an assessed value of the property of $300,000. Don, the seller, is 62 years old and owner-occupant. Use the appropriate homeowner exemption of $80,000. The tax rate is $7.75 per thousand. Let's see if we can solve this thing. Here are our choices. Let's solve question number 5. Our year, month, and day. Our closing date is August the 5th of 2018, so that's how we write it down. 2018-08-05. First day of the unpaid period, since the taxes have not been paid, they were due on July the 1st, so that is the first day of our unpaid period, 2018-07-01. We do our subtraction. We end up with 1 month and 4 days, which is 34 days. We take the assessed valuation of $300,000 minus the $80,000 home exemption that we're using in this calculation to arrive at a net taxable of $220,000, and then we divide it by 1,000 because our tax rate is per thousand. So we need to find out how many thousands there are in 220. We divide. We end up with 220 times the $7.75. The tax bill for the year is $1,705. To figure out what it is for each day, we take $1,705, divide by 360 days, and it looks like $4.74 for each day. $4.74 times 34 days equals $161.16. B, since it's unpaid, it's in arrears, so it's a debit to the seller and a credit to the buyer. I hope you followed me all the way through on that one. Several steps, but it's our basic formula. Figuring out the number of days, the cost per day. Number of days times the cost per day equals the total. Proration question number 6. Closing date is April the 20th of 2018. Mike, the buyer, will assume the homeowner's insurance that expires December 12th of 2018. The premium paid to Bishop Insurance is $162. Our choices, hopefully we'll be able to figure out what that is. Solution for question number 6. The first day of the unpaid period would be December 13th of 2018. So it's 2018-12-13. Our closing date is April 20th of 2018, so it's 2018-04-20. When we do our subtraction, we notice that in our day column, we cannot subtract 20 days from 13. So we're going to have to move over to the month column where it's 12. That'll change to an 11. And we'll add 30 days to the 13, which will be 43 days. 43 days minus 20 days equals 23 days. When we go to the month column then, remember we've changed it, we borrowed a month, so that 12 is now an 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. And 2018 minus 2018 is 0, so we end up with 0 years, 7 months, 23 days. 7 months times 30, 210 plus 23, 233 days for prorations. $162 for the year divided by 360 days in our proration year equals 45 cents per diem. 45 cents times 233 days. It's paid in advance, so it ends up being a credit to the seller and a debit to the buyer. The seller has paid it, so we're going to debit the buyer because they're taking over the homeowner insurance policy. Proration question number 7. Michelle had paid the annual taxes based on Hawaii's fiscal year, which runs from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th of 2019 of $1,082.40 when the Pu'unene house closed on February 20th, 2019. What are the prorations? Well, let's see if we can come up with one of these answers, shall we? Solution to proration question number 7. The first day of the unpaid period, July 1st of 2019. So here's how we write it in the year, month, day format. 2019-07-01. Our closing date is February 20th of 2019. So it's 2019-02-20. In our subtraction issue now we're going to have to borrow again because in our day column we're trying to subtract 20 from 0.01. We can't do that. So we have to go over to our month column, and where we had 7 months, we're going to borrow a month, which is 30 days. So that changes to a 6. We add 30 to our 1 day, and it's 31 days minus 20 days leaves us 11 days. We've changed the 7 to a 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. 2019 minus 2019 is 0, so we end up with 0 years, 4 months, and 11 days. 4 months times 30, 120, plus 11, 131 days. The tax bill is $1,082.40 divided by our proration year, 360 days, equals $3.01 per day. $3.01 times 131 days equals $394.31. Selection B. Proration question number 8. Mark has sold a Haiku property and will close escrow November 23, 2018. After making the November loan payment, the outstanding balance is $125,560 at 10 7/8% interest. Calculate the interest due at closing. Working on the solution to proration question number 8. Our closing date is November 23rd of 2018. That's how we write it down, 2018-11, 11th month, and the 23rd day. The first day of the unpaid period. Now this we have to remember, interest is paid in arrears. So the first day of the unpaid period is November the 1st. Even though you made the November payment, it paid for October. So the first day of the unpaid period is November 1st, which is 2018-11-01. We do our subtraction. We don't have to borrow here. That's kind of easy. 23 days minus 1 day equals 22 days. 11 minus 11 is 0. 2018 minus 2018 is 0. So we have 22 days to prorate. To figure out our interest rate, the loan balance is $125,560. 10.875%. How I got 875 is 7/8. So you take the number 7, divide by the number 8, and it'll be 0.875. So it was 10 and 7/8. So it's 10.875% equals $13,654.65 for the year, divided by our 360-day proration year is $37.93 per day. $37.93 times 22 days, $834.46, which is selection A. Proration question number 9. Cindy, the landlord, has collected the June rent from all 5 tenants, 2 at $345 each and 3 at $425. Compute the rent prorations to the buyer if the sale is closed June 19th, 2018. Hopefully we'll come up with one of those answers. Solution to proration question number 9. The first day of the unpaid period, since the rents were paid for June, the first day of the unpaid period would be July the 1st of 2018. So our year is 2018, our month is .07, or -07 rather, and the day is -01. The closing date is June 19th, which is the year 2018-06-19. We do our subtraction, and notice again we're going to have to borrow. We can't take, in the day column, we can't subtract 19 days from one day. So we go over to our month column, which is currently a 7. We're going to borrow a month, so that 7 changes to a 6. We add the 30 days that we borrowed to the 1. We get 31 minus 19 is 12 days. Now the month has changed from a 7 to a 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. 2018 minus 2018 is 0. So we end up with just 12 days of prorations. To figure out the total amount we need to prorate, we had 2 tenants paying $345. So that's a $690 for those 2. And then we had 3 tenants paying $425. That comes to $1,275. We add $690 and $1,275, come up with $1,965 for the month, divided by 30 days equals $65.50 per day. $65.50 per day times 12 days equals $786. Selection A. Proration question number 10. Ken closes escrow September 21st of 2018 on the sale of a watermelon farm on Molokai. The annual county water bill of $1,900 has been prepaid through the fiscal year. Remember, our fiscal year runs from July 1st through June 30th. The buyer will give Ken enough melons at $3.50 each to offset the proration. Well, this should be fun, dealing with watermelons. So how many melons do we have? Well, let's find out. Our solution to our watermelon question. The first day of the unpaid period, because in this instance we're dealing with a fiscal year that runs from July the 1st of 2018 to June 30th of 2019. So the very next day, the first day of the unpaid period, would be July the 1st of 2019. So in the year column, we put 2019. Our month, July, is 07, and our day is 01. Here's our closing date, September 21st of 18. So 2018, year, month, September is 9th month and the 21st day. We do our math. We're going to have to do some borrowing here. So we can't subtract 21 days in the day column from 01, so we have to borrow 1 month. So we go over to our month where it's currently 7. We change that to a 6, and then we add 30 days to our day column. So 31 minus 21 days equals 10 days. And now we're back to our month column, which we have changed from a 7 to a 6, and we notice we can't subtract 9 from 6. So we have to go over to our year column and borrow 1 year, which is 12 months. So we add 12 months to our 6, which makes it 18. 18 months minus 9 months equals 9 months. We move to the year column, and since we had to borrow a year, that 2019 has become a 2018. Minus a 2018 is 0, so we end up with 0 years, 9 months, and 10 days. 9 times 30 is 270, plus our 10 days, 280 days of prorations. Our annual water bill is $1,000.40. We divide by 360 days in our proration year, and we end up with $5.28 per diem. Times 280 days equals $1,478.40. But because we're getting paid in watermelons, we have to divide. Each watermelon is worth $3.50, so we end up with 422 and a little bit less than a half, 422.4 watermelons, which is selection C. Proration question number 11. Shawneen is assuming the seller's mortgage loan balance of $24,569.20 at 9%. The closing date is June 3rd, 2018. The seller has paid the June 1st mortgage payment of $265.42. The interest proration is, well, let's see if we can figure this out. The solution to proration question number 11. Our closing date is June the 3rd of 2018, so our year is 2018. June is the 6th month, so it's -06, and our third day. The first day of the unpaid period, now we have to think about this because remember, mortgage interest is paid in arrears. So even though she made her mortgage payment on June 1st, it paid for the month of May. So the first day of the unpaid period is June 1st of 2018, which is 2018, June the 6th month, and the first day. Our subtraction, we end up prorating 2 days. That was a pretty easy one. Now let's figure out how much it is per day. It's $24,569.20 times 9% interest equals $2,211.23 for the entire year. To find out how much it is for each day, we divide by 360. We end up with $6.14 per day. $6.14 per day times 2 days is $12.28. Since it's paid in arrears and the buyer's taken over the loan, it has to be a debit to the seller and it would be a credit to the buyer. Proration question number 12. The tax year is January 1st through December 31st, 2018. Tammy has paid the taxes of $252 in full, and the property is sold on April 15th, 2018. What is the unused portion? Notice this time it's on a calendar year, January 1st through December 31st. We'll want to remember that. To solve proration question number 12, we need to determine the first day of the unpaid period. So if it's been paid for the entire year of 2018, the first day of the unpaid period will be January 1st of 2019. So we write down the year 2019, the month 01, the day 01. Our closing date is April 15th of 2018. So our year is 2018. Our month, April, is the 4th month and the 15th day. We do our subtraction. Again, we have to borrow. In our day column, we only have 1 day and we're trying to borrow 15. We know we can't do that. So we go over to our month, and where it says 01 under the month, we're going to borrow that. So that becomes a 0, and we put 30 days on the plus the 1. We end up 31 days minus 15, then we get 16. Now we move over to the month column, and that 1 is turned into a 0 because we borrowed. So we have to go over to the year 19 and borrow 12 months. So 12 months minus 4 months is 8 months. And then when we look at our year column, we know that we changed that 2019 to 2018. So when we do our subtraction, we end up with 0 years, 8 months, 16 days, or 256 days. 8 times 30 is 240 plus 16, 256. $252 divided by 360 days in our proration year. We end up with 70 cents per diem. 70 cents times 256 days, $179.20. Selection B, if you will. Proration question number 13. Harold sells an oceanfront Wailea Point condo for $40,000. Wow, what a buy that is. By way of a mortgage assumption. In other words, the buyer is going to be taking over Harold's mortgage. Harold makes the August 1st, 2018 mortgage payment, and the principal balance is now $26,310. What are the prorations if the interest rate is 8% and closing is August the 15th of 2018? To solve proration question number 13, this is our closing date, August the 15th of 2018. So year is 2018. August is our 8th month and the 15th day. The first day of the unpaid period, we'll have to think about this. What do we know about mortgage interest? We know it's paid in arrears after we use it. So even though he made his August 1st payment, what did it pay for? It paid for July. So if he paid for July, the first day of the unpaid period is August 1st, which is the year 2018. August is the 8th month and the first day. We do our subtraction, we end up with 14 days of prorations to deal with. Now we need to figure out how much it is for each of those days. $26,310 is the outstanding mortgage balance times 8% interest equals $2,104.80 for the year. To find out the day or per diem, we divide by 360. We end up with $5.85 per diem. $5.85 times 14 days is $81.90. Interest is paid in arrears, so the seller owes that. It'll be a debit to the seller of $81.90. Since this was not a mortgage assumption, it doesn't end up being a credit to the buyer because the payoff will be paid to the lender. Our proration question number 14. Closing date of November 1st, 2018. Stacy, the seller, has paid the real property taxes of $240.40 in full for the calendar year. Calendar year is January 1 through December 31. So we need to solve that. Let's see if we can do it. Our solution to proration question number 14. The first day of the unpaid period. So it was paid for the entire year of 2018. So the first day of the unpaid period would be January 1st of 2019. And so we write it down as a year, 2019. The month, January, is -01 and the first day. Our closing date is November the 1st of 2018. So our year is 2018. November is the 11th month and 1 day. We do our subtraction. 1 day minus 1 day is 0 days. We move over to the month column, and when we've discovered we can't subtract 11 months from 1, so we have to go borrow from the year column. We change 2019 to 2018, and we take 12 months and add it to the 1 month. 13 months then minus 11 equals 2 months. 2 months equals 60 days. $240.40 divided by 360 days equals 67 cents per day. 67 cents per day times 60 days equals $40.20, which is selection A. Well, there you have it. This is Rick's process for solving proration problems. I've used it consistently over the years, and it seems to have good results, particularly in a testing environment. So practice, and good luck with your prorations.